Apple fans waited patiently through the entirety of WWDC 2026, expecting at least one massive hardware surprise to drop. Many industry experts, analysts, and tech enthusiasts genuinely thought the highly anticipated M5 Mac Mini would finally show its face to the world. Instead, Apple spent the entire multi-hour event talking deeply about revolutionary AI features, massive Siri intelligence upgrades, and sweeping software changes across their entire digital ecosystem. There was absolutely no new Mac Mini, no new desktop Macs of any kind, and completely empty hands for all the dedicated hardware fans watching at home, leaving everyone utterly disappointed. This shocking omission immediately sparked one very big, undeniable question across the entire tech community. Where exactly in the world is the M5 Mac Mini? For several consecutive months leading up to the massive summer event, every single credible rumor pointed directly to a massive launch happening this year, with some highly respected supply chain reports even strongly suggesting it could arrive on store shelves before the summer season even officially began. Then suddenly, an absolute dead silence fell over the usually incredibly loud Apple rumor mill, leaving absolutely everyone completely in the dark. At the exact same time, crazy new leaks about much further out future M6 chips started mysteriously appearing online, making the whole situation even stranger for consumers who were holding onto their cash ready to upgrade. It almost genuinely looked like Apple had made the shocking, unprecedented decision to skip the M5 Mac Mini completely and move on to the next generation. But if you look closely at the underlying market data, that does not seem to be the case at all. The real hidden problem behind the scenes is actually not the development of the M5 chip itself, but rather a massive, incredibly complex global supply chain bottleneck. The entire global tech industry right now is facing heavily unprecedented, record-breaking demand for high-speed memory and advanced storage parts because massive tech corporations are aggressively buying staggering amounts of raw hardware for their giant, power-hungry AI data center projects, leaving almost nothing left over for standard consumer electronics. Those severe industry-wide component shortages are heavily affecting absolutely everyone making computers right now, and that unfortunately includes a manufacturing giant like Apple. To make matters even more incredibly complicated for their inventory managers, the current generation M4 Mac Mini has also inexplicably become dramatically more popular than Apple originally forecasted. Its genuinely incredible performance-to-price ratio absolutely made it a massive runaway hit overnight with standard consumers and professionals alike, leading many large corporate businesses and creative agencies to actively buy these small machines in massive bulk orders for their office fleets, creating even more intense, unyielding pressure on Apple's already stressed global supply chain. That relentless, overwhelming commercial demand has effectively created a major logistical nightmare for the company. Even today, if you go online to place a standard order, some base M4 Mac Mini models can easily take several long weeks to actually arrive at your front door, and the higher-tier, fully spec'd-out versions with upgraded RAM are even infinitely harder to physically find in stock anywhere on the planet. Apple is currently fighting absolutely tooth and nail just to actively keep up with shipping out their existing backlogged orders. So launching a brand new, highly anticipated hardware model right now would simply only make things catastrophically worse for their delivery times. That is the exact logical reason why the deeply rumored M5 Mac Mini clearly appears to be temporarily delayed rather than entirely canceled from the roadmap. The incredibly good news for patient buyers is that when this highly anticipated, powerful machine finally arrives, it should absolutely bring some heavily worthwhile, massive performance upgrades to the table. Do not go into this release expecting a brand new, radical look though, as Apple just recently completely redesigned the Mac Mini from the ground up with the previous M4 version, shrinking it down to an impossibly small, incredibly dense footprint. Because of that massive, expensive, and time-consuming engineering effort, there is almost absolutely no logical chance of another visual redesign happening so soon in the product life cycle, meaning the remarkably small, space-saving, and highly thermal-efficient compact body is fully expected to stay precisely the same as the current generation. Instead, the biggest, most exciting, and most impactful changes will absolutely all happen hidden inside that tiny silver box. Industry reports and reliable insider leaks heavily suggest Apple may finally, once and for all, aggressively move away from the painfully old and restrictive 256 GB storage option. The brand new base model M5 Mac Mini could very confidently start with a highly respectable 512 GB of blazing fast internal storage alongside a highly capable, future-proof 16 GB of unified RAM. That single, highly requested baseline change alone would easily make the absolute entry-level model far more incredibly attractive to everyday casual consumers and budget-conscious digital creators. Meanwhile, the premium, much more expensive M5 Pro version could easily receive even bigger, more professional-grade workflow upgrades across the board, with reliable, top-tier rumors confidently pointing to a massive 1 TB of lightning-fast storage becoming the brand-new standard baseline configuration. This massive storage bump will heavily likely be paired directly along with significantly more unified memory options and wildly stronger, much more capable graphics performance for extremely heavy 3D rendering tasks. Apple is also fully expected to push much harder into their local on-device AI-focused software features, meaning they are actively making the brand new Mini substantially faster and dramatically more capable for incredibly demanding next-generation machine learning workloads. Of course, we all inherently know that significantly better base specifications and increased starting storage usually predictably mean much higher retail prices waiting for us at the final checkout screen. Current complex financial expectations and deep market analysis strongly suggest Apple could very reasonably increase the entry starting price by roughly around $100. If that highly predicted, entirely plausible price hike actually ends up happening, the brand new, highly capable base M5 Mac Mini would extremely likely start at roughly around $799 directly in the Apple Store. It is definitely not a terribly huge, deal-breaking jump for exactly what incredible performance you are getting out of the box, but it is certainly still slightly more hard-earned money for excited buyers to have to spend on day one. If these current highly detailed supply chain leaks and inventory rumors are completely, entirely accurate, dedicated Apple hardware fans may actually not have much longer to blindly wait in the dark. The absolutely most highly likely, historically accurate release window for this tiny powerhouse machine is rapidly approaching in either October or November of 2026. Apple historically absolutely loves to hold highly produced, dedicated fall media events specifically just for updating their beloved Mac computer lineup, and this exact timing perfectly, logically fits their standard historical release schedule patterns to a T. So, to finally answer the massive burning question that started this entire discussion, no, the remarkably powerful and highly awaited M5 Mac Mini is absolutely probably not dead and gone forever. It merely looks much more like a temporary, unfortunate victim of massive global supply chain problems and very unfortunate, uncontrollable market timing issues.